Hello everybody and welcome along to the Primary Wizard, and we're going to be looking at the second part of our Scratch today. So yesterday we looked at making a flying unicorn game. If you haven't seen that, the video is still up on the channel, so you can go back and look at that one and come back to this video later. But for today we're going to look at part 2, and we said we were going to add some things that were going to fly across the screen that we'd have to avoid. So as you can see, I've been playing around making my own little thundercloud for my unicorn to avoid, and that's what we're going to work on today. I'm just going to get rid of it just so I can show you how I did it. It's nice and simple, and then we'll start doing some programming. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a brand new sprite, and the cloud is actually from Scratch itself. So I'm going to choose a sprite. It's not the cloud, sorry, it's the lightning. So if you type in lightning, it will come up, and there it is. Okay, so I want to add a cloud to that, so it's not just the lightning, I want a cloud and the lightning. So I'm going to change the costume. So I've got my lightning, I'm going to change the costume, and I'm just going to reduce it in size a little bit, and then I'm going to add some circles that I want to be grey because they're thunderclouds. So I'm going to change the brightness. There we go, got a nice dark grey there. And then I'm just going to draw some circles. At the minute I'm just going to do sort of 4 or so random circles. And then I'm going to get the arrow tool and I'm going to move them around. So I've got a sort of cloud shape that I quite like. Alright, I'll move the outline there without moving the inside. Let's just line those up. Oh, that's not very good. I'll zoom in, make sure I get these lined up correctly. Almost. Just going to use the arrow keys just to get it perfect. Okay, cool. I have a little lightning cloud. Now, I say little, it's actually quite big on the screen, so I'm going to reduce its size to about 50%. Okay, got a little lightning cloud now. So that's nice, I like that. Now I'm ready to start thinking about some algorithms and start programming it. So my idea is, guys, that we're going to move across the screen. It's going to start at a random point, and it's going to go from the right hand screen to the left hand screen, and we'll have to try and avoid it with our unicorn. Hey guys, thank you for joining me. Nice to see you all again. So we're going to start by telling it where we want it to start off and go from there. So let's try that now. Let's go and tell it where we want it to start. So I'm going to grab it and I'm going to place it over here. So I'll place it as far over to the right as I can. So that's as far as I can get it to go to the right. I wonder if I can use a block to get it further right. If I get it to change its X direction by 10, it should go to the right. No, that's as far over as it'll let me take it. Okay, that's fine. That's not a problem. So we're going to start from there. And if I look here, I can see its X position. So its position on the left to right, the X, remember, goes across, is 261. And if I go here, I can get the go to 261 on the X axis, and then Y is 32. So if it starts there, that's fine. That's where I want it to start. And so when the green flag is clicked, start there, and then I want it to move across the screen at some point in the game. So I'm going to get it to wait, and I want it to wait a random number of seconds. So I can use this pick random from the operator's block. And I can say, right, pick from between 1 second and 10 seconds. Let's try that. And so let's just test that out. So I'll put the cloud somewhere else to start off, just to make sure it does move. It moves. Right, here's my unicorn. Off he comes. Right, I've asked it to wait 1 to 10 seconds, but I haven't asked it to do anything, so it might have done it. I don't know. So now what I need to do is program it so it does move across the screen. So let's go to motion, and let's go to change X, but we want to go from right to left, so we're going to go minus. So we're going to take away 10. I want it to do that forever. Actually, do you know what I can do? I can probably figure out, if I know that that's 260 on that side, it'll be minus 260 on the other side. I can figure out how far I need it to move. So 260 and 260 added together is 520. So if I to change by -10 52 times. That should do it. Let's try that. That's one. There's lots of ways we could do this, but that's the way I'm going to do it today. Let's try it. So it's going to move, hopefully after it's done its weight in its random 1 to 10 seconds. Oh, here it comes. Well, it definitely got to the other end of the screen. Okay, that's cool. I didn't dodge it, but at the moment we haven't programmed it that we have to dodge it. So, we're going to put. Next thing I want to do is I want to put in that collision detection, so they know when they've touched each other, and we can do like a game over on that, or we could lose our life, I suppose. Maybe we'll think about lives afterwards. So we're going to have another algorithm when the game starts, and I just want to say when the game starts, if at any point they touch each other, then we're going to stop everything. So that's going to be forever. When the game starts, forever. If the cloud touches the unicorn, so if we're on the lightning, so we're going to say if lightning ever touches the unicorn, then we're going to stop all, which is in events. No, it is not. It is in control. There it is. Stop all. Okay, slide it in there. Stop all. Okay. Let's test that out now. Hopefully, I'm going to try and avoid it. No, I'm not. I'm going to try and hit it. There we go. Okay, brilliant. It hit and it stopped. So that little algorithm works. Fantastic. Happy about that. Right. So now what happens if I miss it is kind of the next question. So I'm going to try and avoid it now. I know where it's coming from this time, so I'm going to hide down here. Do you know what? I did a terrible job of dodging it there. Let's try again. And again. Okay. Do you know what? I might be too big. I might be too big to avoid it. Let's make my unicorn smaller. Let's go for 30. Might be quite dinky. Little dinky unicorn. Oh, it's cute. I like it. There we go. A bit easier to control and avoid now. Oh, that's better. Right, so it's done that, but then it's gone to the left-hand side of the screen, and then it's stopped. So I've got a bit of a problem in that I need it to reappear back at this side of the screen at some point. So let's get that sorted. So when it gets to this edge, when it gets to that left side of my screen, I want it to disappear. I don't want it to stay there because I can see it and it's messy. So I'm going to go to looks and I'm going to get it to hide. So it's going to go all the way to the edge of that screen and hide. Let's just test that before I go any further. So I'm just going to let it go across the screen when it's its random weight. There we go. Oh, that was pretty good. That was pretty tidy. It got to the edge of the screen and it hid. Fantastic. Right. So then what I want it to do is actually let's hide it at the start. And then let's make sure it shows before it moves. Okay, let's just test that. So I should be able to see it on the right hand side now. I should be able to see it over here until it starts moving. That was good. That's good. Okay, brilliant. We've got a bit of an algorithm here now that's making it appear at one point and then move across the screen and then disappear. So what I could actually do is I could add something in here that loops this function around so it does it over and over again. So let's say forever do that. So it should do it now, I think, that it hides, it moves across the screen, it hides, and then at some point in the next 10 seconds or so, it'll do it again. I hope. Yay, there we go. Happy days. So that's worked out really well. Now, one thing that I've just noticed that's not the most efficient it could be in my algorithm is I've got a hide at the bottom and a hide at the top. I only really need to hide at the start. So that means that will only get done once and it's not in the loop. So it's one less instruction for our computer to carry out. That's pretty cool. So we can watch that go round. It will keep going round and round and round. The cloud should just keep coming. Keep coming, keep coming. Right, so let's just make sure it does keep coming, and then I want to make sure that when I do get in the way, yep, so it still works. It still hits and stops me. Now, At the moment, my game's really easy because actually, as you saw there, if I do nothing and touch nothing, I will just bounce along the bottom and the cloud will never ever get me. So the problem is it keeps appearing at the same height. It keeps appearing from here. So we want to be able to randomize what level that cloud's at. Could be a very low cloud, could be a very high cloud. Let's randomize its y coordinate. So remember, y is the up and down coordinate. And at the moment, we've got it set to 32, which is where it always appears on the screen. So it's there, that's 32 there, that's 32, but we've got a range here. The bottom of the screen is, let's see if I can show you. I'm going to add another backdrop because there's a really good backdrop for showing this. So I'm just going to add this in. You won't need to do this for your project, but I think it's a really good way of showing you what the coordinates are. Where is it? Is it in all? Let's see, it's XY grid, that's the one, that XY grid there. Okay, so you can see here, this shows us the coordinates. It shows us that the right on this edge is X 240, right on this edge is X minus 240, and then you've got the top here is Y 180, and I've got Y minus 180. So I'm going to use those values, but bearing in mind, minus 180 is right at the bottom, 180 is right at the top. I don't really want my cloud to be appearing right at the bottom or right at the top. I want it to be close, but not so it's off screen or half off screen. So I'm just going to go back to my backdrop 1. I'm going to go back to my lightning, and I'm going to go back to my code, and I'm going to get that random box again, and I'm going to say random. So pick a random from, I'm going to say minus 180. Now this is a bit of a trial. It could work out, it could not. So you can choose from minus 160, sorry, all the way to 160 positive. So I think that should be anywhere between about here and here. That's where I'm guessing. So let's try it out and see where it appears. Oh, it's making us wait. Okay, that one looked a bit lower to me. Let's see if it does a different one next time. Let's just see if it is random and it keeps picking random spots. Okay. Yes, that one's definitely higher. Okay, cool. Let's see if it does a really low one or a really high one. That was in the middle. Oh, it got me. Oh, it got me. Right, I'm going to, just so I can test this a bit easier, I'm going to change that to random 1 second. So I'll do a new one every second, and I can see where the range is, where they come from. So that there should be a new lightning every second now. Right, brilliant. You see that one? That was right at the top. That's perfect, and that was pretty low to the bottom. I think I'm really happy with my range, so I'm going to change that back to 10 seconds. Awesome. So we've got a sprite that we've got to avoid, and we've programmed it so it moves across the screen and then disappears. And we've used our coordinate knowledge as well, so that's really cool. I like that a lot. Right, let's see if we can do a game over screen then, guys. So you'll have seen me do this before if you watched last week. I'm going to make a new backdrop. I'm just going to do a really quick one, guys, because I think you've seen it before and I don't want to spend too much time on it. I'm going to get rid of that backdrop. I'm going to paint a new one. It's just going to be a really quick one. I'm going to do a square in the backdrop so I can colour it in. Oh, it's very black. Like so. Oh, I wonder if there's one that I can use already. I wonder if there's one that they've already got that I could use rather than me make my own. Yeah, okay, let's use that one. It's a nice pattern. And then I'm going to put game over. Awesome. Right, I can stretch it. I can put it in the middle. Cool. Right, so now I've got a backdrop. It's called Light, but I'm going to change its name to Game Over here. Okay, don't want that one. Don't want the black one. You could obviously change the colours of that if you wanted to. I'm going to leave it as is. Right, let's go back to the code. And let's do it. So when the lightning touches the unicorn, it's going to switch the backdrop before the end of the game. Okay. Now let's test it. Oh, I forgot to change my backdrop to the original, didn't I? So let's switch backdrop right at the start of the game. Let's switch the backdrop to backdrop 1. Let's try that. There we go. Okay. Right, where's my lightning? Is it coming? There it is. Oof, made me wait for that one. Okay. Right, so we've got that. Let's run into the lightning, make sure that the game over screen works. There it is. Awesome. Right. We could use that broadcast again, couldn't we, to make it everything else disappear. So let's do that again. I like that. So it's a event, and we're going to, when they touch each other, we're going to broadcast a new message, which is going to be game over, and then we're going to say when you receive game over, you are going to hide, which is in looks. There it is. Good. Right, we need to do the same for unicorn. Now here's something you may not know. You can actually drag code and drop it onto another sprite, and it'll copy it across. So that code is automatically copied across. Now, because I'm making the unicorn hide at the end of the game, I'm going to need to make him show up at the start of every game as well. And let's go. Oh, now one thing I did say I was going to do is I said I was going to move the unicorn maybe back across the screen. But I did have a suggestion yesterday that maybe we could control the left and right of the unicorn as well as the flying. So perhaps we could put that in next. Let's just test that this game over is working. Perfect. Okay. Let's do that. That might be the last piece that we do today. So let's control left and right. So I'm thinking if I've got one hand on the space key to control up and down, I can use the left and right arrows on my keyboard, or I could do A and D. Let's do A and D for a bit of difference. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to need an event, which is when the something key is pressed, but we're going to go for the A key for left. Right, and I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to do the D key for right. Okay, and then I'm going to change their X variable, so change that across variable that we've used before. So change their value. So A is left, and so that's a negative, so think about a number line. It's jumping backwards on the number line, so it's a negative number. We're like taking away a certain number. So if I take away 10, now I'm going to do this, but I've had an idea about how I might make it a bit smoother, because sometimes this can be a bit jumpy. And so D is going to be, oh, not move 10 steps, no, we want to change X by 10 steps. So let's try this. Yeah, you can see it. It's a little jumpy though, yeah? Can you see it's not as smooth as it could be. So I'm going to try something, and hopefully that might make it a bit smoother. Instead of changing X by minus 10, I'm going to change it by 1, but then I'm going to put a loop on it. And I'm going to say, right, repeat that 10 times. So you get 10 lots of minus 1, which makes minus 10. So it's the same. You're still moving the same amount of space. But what it's going to do is it'll move minus 1, then it'll do it again, then it'll do it again, do it again. So it'll move through all of the positions. It'll go minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8, minus 9, minus 10. And so you should get a slightly smoother movement. Let's give it a go, see if it's right. It's good in theory. So here we go. Oh yeah, can you see that, guys? So I can control the movement. It doesn't jerk about, it's smooth. And if I hold it, if I keep tapping it, it'll kind of move along like that. That's really cool. I like that. That's a really good improvement. So that's a good tip. We can need to remember that one for the future. Is that sometimes it's better to do a loop of the same thing lots of times in a little step rather than one big step. You get a better movement for it. Right, guys, I think that might be it for today. So I'm going to stop there. Thank you very much if you've joined me. I've really enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying this game. I think tomorrow we'll add in some collectibles, and I think maybe we could think about putting it so that if you survive a certain amount of time, the backdrop changes. So we go from like our blue sky and green ground to, don't know, could go to a city, could go over some mountains. I'd love to have a think about that. So we'll think about that and come back tomorrow. If you want to submit any of this on the VLE, just take a screenshot of it and put it on. If you want to share your whole game, what you can do is you can submit a link to your Scratch profile. So if you've got an online Scratch profile and you can save it, then you can actually submit the link to your Scratch profile, and I will have a look at that. I'd really like to. So if you've done that, fantastic. Other than that, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've been keeping yourself safe, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.